Peace.
Peace.
This is Joshua Law, Mr. PhD. You're just now entering the cipher called Real2reel360.
Uh-huh.
K-Wise.
Peace, God.
Bring that beat in, kid.
Indeed.
Peace.
Yeah. What's going on, party people? Welcome to the Real2reel360 show. Let's get it in.
We do the knowledge and wisdom so you can understand. Real2reel360 shows in full command. We changing the game for how it all was taught. From bondage to freedom to an independent thought. Yo, the show is here to bring about a change for real. To lighten everyone so we all know the deal. 360 degrees is a fact. We created the show to give our love back to our communities so we can know what's going on and give them the support from knowledge to born. So if you're ready to learn, then it's time to go. Sit back and relax and enjoy your show. Peace.
Peace, peace, beloved family. Peace to Allah's 5% nation of God's nurse to all the human families on the planet Earth. I am DJ K-Wise, a.k.a. Kato, the Black Superhero. Welcome to another explosive episode of the Real2reel360 show. We're going to jump right into it. Without further ado, I'm going to bring on my brother in God, my co-host with the most, who still owes me that 5% of that 50,000. I'm still waiting. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my partner, my brother, Joshua Allah, a.k.a. Mr. PhD himself. Peace to the God.
Peace. First and foremost, I want to tell all our followers and listeners, make sure that you're liking, you're subscribing that YouTube channel so you can get the notifications for whenever that we have a show so you don't miss out on anything that we have going on. Also, too, hit that Cash App to support everything that Real2reel360 is about. But today is going to be the cap of the week right here. We finna get it in, you know what I'm saying, with the God himself, Sincere. We're gonna see what the science says with the God, man. Bring him on here, man, and let's build and see what's really going on. And because, you know, he got his own little show and everything else. So let's make it happen.
All right, here we go.
Peace to the guys.
Peace to the God.
Jeez,
How you guys feeling?
Man, great, man. How you, man?
I'm blessed, man. I woke up this morning, so hey, can't complain.
That's what it is, man.
Peace.
Yo, we want to give all our followers and listeners, give you opportunity to give the followers and listeners a background of who and what you are. So won't you just step in and give them that and let them have that?
Right. My name is the journalist Sincere, born and raised in Anderson, Indiana. Population around 60,000. I'm a Midwest kid, so, you know, we didn't get that good New York or West Coast hip hop until later on. But, you know, I gravitated toward it at an early age. Depended on my sister to bring that to me. She was about 4 years older than me, so I relied on her heavy to let me know what was going on. But as far as getting into journalism, that started in the early 90s. Some of my first interview acts were like Artifacts, groups like that out of New Jersey. And so throughout the years, man, it's been about close to 30 years I've been doing journalism, close to over 300 interviews, and currently managing the God King Son, and also doing some work with Power Rule. Not sure if you guys remember Power Rule from back in the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course.
Yeah.
First of all, I did the nods to the interview that you had with the God in an early stage. You know what I mean? When I think he was traveling through some ciphers, he was going through some things or whatever, and a lot of individuals spoke about the GoFundMe and what have you. Can you give like an update on to how he's doing today?
He is back on his feet thanks to everybody who donated to the GoFundMe. That interview was pretty crucial. He says due to that particular interview, that's what allowed people to reach out and get him to where he is today. So he's currently in the studio, maintaining a job, getting shows, features. So he is doing great as of today.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely interesting, you know, with King's Son Son Born to Law, the God was very pivotal in 80s hip hop when it comes down to, you know what I'm saying, the 5% Nation. Uh,
Right.
a lot of the brothers that got knowledge, you know what I'm saying, used to bump King Son. I know I was one of them. And
Right.
I had the pleasure of meeting King Son in like 89 at the Apollo. It
Dope.
was a benefit concert for the 5% Nation. But the way I met King Son, I didn't, you know what I'm saying, it was awkward because, you know, men don't talk in the bathroom. You know? and we both at the urinal, and he asking me today's mathematics. I'm like, oh, shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're at the urinal. You know what I mean?
Right. That's him.
Yeah, you know, so it was cool. It was a joke part. But just want to now he's supposed to have a group or album that he's working on called the Iron Clan.
Iron Hand Clan.
Iron Hand Clan.
Right.
Can you speak to that?
That's still in working stages right now. He's trying to get the members together. I think it's just a big trying to work out everybody's schedule. Everybody's in different places. You know, back in the day, everybody was kind of in the same place, could jump in the studio. But right now it's in its development stages, and you know, be on the lookout for some new stuff soon. Just recently released I'm Loving It, the Bentley song, which is kind of an offspring of some members from the Iron Hand Clan. That single is available now. More new music coming soon, but right now Iron Hand Clan is still in development stages.
Okay. So he has a solo project that he's working on currently.
Yes, as well as the Iron Hand Clan. So it's just a matter of getting the right production, getting the right push, getting the right platforms behind him. So it's all, you know, a development stage, more pushing the singles right now, because as you know, consumers get the project and then they're off to the next project. You know what I mean? Like, you could put your hard-earned work into a 16-song album, and then the consumer, they want something new, you know, almost immediately. So right now we're playing the singles game, just throwing stuff out there. The new singles getting a lot of burn in Virginia on college radio stations. So right now we're just working the single.
Okay. That's currently where he resides at, right in Norfolk, right?
Virginia. Right.
There's a brother on the page that's part of the Iron Hand Clan, Wise Magnetic.
Right.
He chimed in on one of the shows, and he's been hitting me up in the inbox about the God. But also too, like, it was kind of controversial, like when we started talking about having him on the show and stuff like that, because he had made a comment about, you know what I'm saying, the gods from Long Island, and the gods from Long Island was kind of tight, like
King Son said something about that.
Yeah, he said something about ain't no lords in Lord's Island, and we in the gods is like, yo, hold on, what do we do to him? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He has absolutely zero filter. So,
of course,
I think he's the same guy from back in the day that you met at the Apollo. Like, he hasn't changed a bit. He's gonna speak what's on his mind. You know, he's got a lot of issues that he'd like to talk about. You know, like, say Fat Joe using the N-word, you know what I mean? He doesn't feel like Joe should be using that. You know, there's a lot of things that Son's not happy with in today's hip hop. So
yeah, and you know, we really want to address that with him, you know what I'm saying? Because he has a lot of history with the Wu-Tang Clan, the situation with Fat Joe, a couple of more artists that he has, you know what I'm saying, named in certain
Ice Cube, the list goes on. Yeah.
And, a lot of these cats didn't break bread like they were supposed to.
Ice Cube, yeah,
didn't break bread like they were supposed to. So, being the fact that they didn't, you know, he has been outspoken about the situation. So,
as he should, you know what I mean? Like, his profile records didn't leave him too good after his deal. So, you know, getting with a guy like Ice Cube and showing Cube his vision and some of his work, and have Cube, you know, take that work and make Wicked, and, you know, kind of just turn his back on Son, you know, that's something that should be talked about, you know.
Right. And that's something that we want to make sure that we get his side of the situation and put
Yeah.
out there because at one point did he try to indulge in movies and what have you?
Son?
Yes.
Not to my knowledge. There may be something for him to tell, but I'm not aware of any movie endeavors or anything like that. Just mainly music, taking a hiatus. He's got a million and one stories. I mean, like I'd love to pitch this show to him, and I'll be sure to reach out and let him know to give his side of the story.
Oh, definitely. Because we know that he was traveled after a while. He went from Cali to Kentucky to different
Yes,
places, to I guess solidify him a foundation somewhere, and
right.
he ended up landing in Virginia currently, and we want to let him know that the nation definitely has always supported him, saying
Hmm.
going forward, and that we were saying we're looking for him to be here today, but certain things happen, and it's all love, what I'm saying.
Right.
Um, but in the same note, same token, give his own understanding of things and how he's progressing as an individual today and how he has elevated himself from the time he started in Paterson, New Jersey to when he, saying where he's at now.
Right.
You know,
Was he
um,
was he supposed to attend today?
yeah,
You
yeah,
guys reached out to him.
yeah,
What he give you a response?
yeah. He ain't give me
Ah,
one today. You know what I mean? That's why it's kind of like, whoa, where you at? But it's
I
cool.
okay.
It's
I
cool
wasn't
because
aware. Yeah.
the thing is you're his manager and that's fine. It's what I'm saying, business is business.
Right.
Nothing changes. Uh, but the questions that we do have is really directed toward him. But
I
peace,
got you.
Chappelle. Peace to the God, Chappelle. My brother Chappelle.
Peace,
Um,
y'all.
we we looking at like when you started doing journalism. When did you
Yes.
start actually doing journalism?
I dove into it in the early 90s, and I've always been independent, but if you remember going to clubs, like cameras and video cameras was not allowed. So
Right.
I had to take it upon myself to sneak the big camera in and get with the artist. So like you would bump into them and just hopefully get that story. And
Uh,
as we progress, like now, there's no red tape. You don't have to go through the record labels. You don't have to go through the managers. Just like on Instagram, you get right to whoever you pretty much want to get to.
mhm.
So I really took advantage of the situation during 2020 when everybody was locked in the house during COVID. So everybody was willing to talk. And like I said, I'm up to 300 interviews. But throughout the years, it was sneaking in the club with a camera, camcorder, and
Mhm.
just getting a story like that. But like I've always been independent, never really worked for any publication, and just kind of build my resume and being on the scene that way.
So with hip hop is artists are mostly who you have interviewed over the years. So it was the love of the culture that made you want to do interviews and go into journalism. Did you go into any schooling for journalism?
I did not. I did not. I don't really know if a school can teach you proper journalism if you don't have the passion. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like this is more of a passion.
Hmm.
Big fan of like the Source magazines, rap pages. Those would be my dream jobs if I was in that situation back in the day. But
Uh-huh.
once I got an opportunity to do it myself, it just kind of took off like that. But no, I never went to school for journalism.
Hmm.
And so I developed my own style, developed everything just throughout the years of being on the scene and, landing, interviews with different artists.
You created your own school of thought, God. It's all good.
I did, man. Whether it was getting the airplane ticket to fly to Miami to get the story, You know, everything is self-financed, but it's for the love of it, it's the passion. You know, I don't think a classroom can sit there and tell you if you don't have the love for it. You know what I mean? Like, I could be hired by Rolling Stone magazine, but I ain't got no interest in interviewing Taylor Swift. You know what I mean? So that's what they would probably do. You go over there and talk to Taylor Swift, get that story. You know, it looked good, but at the end of the day, I wouldn't love talking to somebody I didn't want to talk to. So everybody that I talk to is, you know, somebody that I admire, got love for, been influenced by. So, yep.
Who was the most prevalent individual that you interviewed during this period of time?
Oh man, it just depends on what you consider in your eyes, you know what I mean, as prevalent. Like, everybody is prevalent to me because they've
I didn't mean the word prevalent. I mean like the most impactful. I'm sorry for
okay.
using that word.
Impactful.
The most impactful, the one that you felt was like, man, I got to get this interview. Then when you got the interview, you was like, yo, almost put you in a situation when you was in fandom mode when you was interviewing.
To be honest, man, like all of them, you know what I mean? But, you know, the King Sun one, I think we did about 3 to 4 hours. You know what I mean? Most artists will give you about an hour of their time. You got to condense everything into, you know, sometimes it doesn't come out right because you got to rush through, but we just let it go. And, you know, King Sun is probably that person, and you can see it translate into a friendship, into me becoming his manager, into us being brothers. So it would have to be somebody that you're familiar with, which is King Sun.
How was that transition for you, going from the journalist part to becoming friends?
Like you said, starstruck, man. Like, I'm looking at the Rap Masters magazines as a 13-year-old, you know, centerfolds of King Sun, never knowing that 30 years later I'd be at the man's house, you know, breaking bread, having dinner, having conversations. Like, it's still surreal to me, you know what I mean? Like, I was just telling my dad the other day, I don't think it's really truly hit me what I've accomplished and the things that I'm doing until later on down the road, and I'm looking back and going, wow, I really did that. But it's still surreal right now, you know what I mean? But you couldn't have told me 30 years ago that I'd be in a situation of being friends, being brothers with somebody like King Sun and a lot of other artists that raised us. You know, I'm working on 50 years old, so
oh, you still a baby.
These guys raised me, you know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say, you know what I mean? Like, in 88, I was 14. I wasn't able to go to all the Fresh Fest, the Nitro tours, you know what I mean? And when I was able to do so, I was off to the races, you know? So.
Oh, trust me, the Fresh Fest, that was dope.
Had to be.
That was dope.
You know, I was kind of on that cusp of like the Straight Outta Compton tour, you know, all the Fear of the Black Planet tour, you know, any Public Enemy tour, anything around 88, 89. My first concert was in 89, and my parents had to take me to it. And it was Biz Markie, EPMD, Rob Bass, EU. So that was my first concert.
Yeah. I tell you, growing up, you know, I'm a little bit older than you. And I remember when Lakim Shabazz was banging, when King Sun was out, when the hip hop itself had knowledge in the music, like information in the music. It was strong and it was empowering. How have you seen? Because obviously you're from that era where you can see the music has changed and hip hop has changed. How has it changed in your eyes in the way that you do journalism when you address certain artists?
It's changed. There's a certain bar, you know what I mean? And I don't think it'll be achieved again. To me, the golden era was up till 99. After 99, I think the music really changed more for commercial success, pop. Like, I could tell you both of you, I could tell you to name me a hot album from 2007, and you can't do it.
No.
But
No.
I can tell you to name me a hot album from 87,
Oh,
and you know what I mean?
I can run it down.
Yes. So it's changed to the fact where I don't remember too much of the 2000s. I know we had some good music, we had some good artists, but if I was to tell you guys to name me something hot in 2005, 2011, 2000, you know, you couldn't do it. I guarantee you couldn't do it. But
Celine Dion.
Okay, you beat me.
That lets you know, right? That's the DJ. He shooting out Celine Dion.
Right. So
about the Super Fest.
Yeah, that was dope.
Yeah.
that was
dope.
probably in the late 90s, I imagine, mid 90s.
Yeah, if Aaliyah was on the it was in the mid 90s. Yeah.
So as far as journalism, I cater my show to getting the stories of the guys that raised me. I will do new artists, but my basis is getting those stories that I feel like the magazines didn't really get. Because if you remember, some of the magazines just got like an article. You didn't get the real whole story. You didn't get the backstory. You didn't get the DJ story. You didn't get the dancer story. You just got a little bit of the story. So I like to go back and get those missing pieces. And a lot of those stories make sense today. So the music's changed a lot, and I'm not totally against today's music, but I don't listen to a lot of it.
Well, I think that's a lot of individuals from our generation that doesn't really listen to the hip hop today because it doesn't foster any food for the mind. There's no growth and development for us mentally, and it fosters a lot of savage behavior. Now, when we were coming up, the music was about knowledge. It was about partying. It was about celebrating each other. It was about revolution. You know what I'm saying? Activism, things of that nature. It wasn't about what it is today.
But you also had options. You know what I mean? If you felt like being on your gangster tip for a minute, you had Ice-T and Ice Cube. If you felt like having knowledge of self, you had X-Clan, you had Poor Righteous Teachers, you had Brand Nubians. If you wanted to have fun, you had Kid and Play and MC Hammer. You know, I don't think we have that balance today. Everybody's cookie cutter. They got the same sound, the same look. It's just sort of like a factory of music going on right now.
And also too, the originality. Everybody had their own style. You
couldn't bite back then.
You couldn't bite back then. The music you heard, everything was different. Everybody wanted their own style. Everybody wanted to be different or set aside from someone else. Today's music, everybody is similar and it sounds the same. And the sad thing is, when we were coming up, we had like you said, we had the college radio stations, and we had our hour in time where we had hip hop that was on the radio. But then there was a separate thing that our parents had their own music that was different from ours, right?
Right.
And being the fact that it was different, now everything is the same. Like all the music that the parents listen to is the same as the kids listen to. and it's like when you go out to the clubs, it's the same music. It's nothing different. We don't push our generation of music or a generation of artists. Everybody has their own artists. Like my mother had her favorite R&B singer. I had my favorite R&B singer. There were two different generations. She liked Marvin. You know what I'm saying? I was into Practice What You Preach. You know what I mean? Things of that nature. It was just two different things. And now today it's all one and the same. And I remember when at one point I was doing security in a club and a grown man was 30-something years old doing the stinky leg. And I'm like, how could you do the stinky leg? You know, so you're a grown man. You know?
Right. So, on the flip side of that, remember when nobody could tell us nothing? Nobody could tell us Kane was whack. Nobody could tell us Rakim was whack. Nobody could tell us the hip hop at that time was whack. I'm wondering if the kids today feel like how we felt, you know what I mean? And so I kind of give them that, like, okay, nobody could tell me Kane was whack. Like, we'd almost probably have to fight, you know what I mean?
Right,
So
right.
their Kane might be NBA Youngboy.
I would hope not.
I know.
I really would hope not.
I know.
You know, Kane, we're not trying to disrespect you by putting
No, not at all.
category with NBA Youngboy. I'm just,
but we held Kane up to that high standard. That's just what I'm trying to get at.
Right.
So I see the influence that some of these Kodak Blacks and these others. I don't get it, but at the same time, I'm 30 some years older than these kids, and I just kind of let them have their time, and you know, it is what it is. You know, as long as these guys are doing something positive, they got fans, I'm all for it. I mean, a lot of them are always in trouble. I don't get that part. You know, you're out of the streets, you got the money, but yet you still find yourself in the streets and behind bars. You know what I'm saying?
It's a stamp badge of honor in the mental state of hell for them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They feel like that's the only way they know they can have clout or notoriety, is that they got to be out there in the negative sense.
Right.
You know, we had consciousness.
We had balance. Yeah.
You know, we had real consciousness to tell them, you know, you don't need to be doing all this. If you was a drug dealer and you came up out of it,
right,
what you need to go back for? You successful. You doing good.
I feel like
if you got something to show and prove and ain't done nothing, but you feel like, oh man, the only way I can make it in hip hop, I got to go to jail or I got to get shot. Come on, man.
I feel like back in the day we had gatekeepers. We had people that kept us in line, told us, you know, what to do, what not to do. I don't think these younger guys have gatekeepers. Everybody's a yes man, you know what I mean? Everybody's co-signing the stupidness. Like, I think Kodak Black just got busted with 30-some oxy pills. You see what's going on with Young Thug right now and the RICO case. You know,
and Casanova just copped out to a RICO case.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, these guys got it made, are in the best circles possible, but yet find themselves in the worst case possible. You know, it's like a circle, like a revolving cycle. And I think that's due to maybe our OGs not stepping up and you know, becoming the gatekeepers they once were, you know.
I tell you, I look at it like in two different parts, because majority of individuals that are rapping now are from the suburbs. They're not from the hood. You know what I mean? They're not from the ghetto. They're not from the projects. They're not from that environment. So I guess to keep it real situation, they have to be stamped. And they want to be around, you know what I'm saying, the gangsters and the thugs so they can look like they're legit. And for those individuals who are from the hood, like we talked about with the Casanovas and the Young Thugs and things of that nature, having to understand that you have to separate yourself at some point in time, you know what I'm saying, to grow. Of course, you know what I'm saying, we all want to take everybody on the journey of success with us, but we know that everybody isn't ready for that ride. And those who are ready for that ride, we just drop them off until they are ready, you know.
Right.
But I think
and we just pretty much talked about getting in trouble and cases, but we haven't talked about how many deaths throughout the past, you know, X amount of years. I think the newer generation beats the older generation in deaths.
The
like
generation wasn't killing each other.
Nah.
You know what I mean?
So it's changed for the worse, absolutely. You know what I mean? It's changed for the, in my eyes, you know what I mean? I mean, it's just, it's unbelievable at the situations these guys put themselves in.
Yeah. And that's something that I was going to say about, like, a lot of these young rappers, they're dying 3 and 4 of them a year. And a lot of them want to be gang affiliated. And and things of that nature. Nothing against the gangs or what have you. You know what I mean? I have no issues with the red or the blue or anything of that nature. But if it's not something that's going to help, you know what I'm saying, the original cause of what the gang was about, then there's no purpose.
These guys don't even know why they're fighting each other these
No,
days.
not at all. And I never understood how, you know, you can rep a block that you own not one brick on. You know what I
Right.
mean? That's something that we just has no understanding to. How can I be what we say the god of the block when the black man is the god of the universe? It's just a
Right.
whole different situation. And
Right.
but these kids are locked in into neighborhoods and things like that, and it's killing them. And they're talking about it in their music. And when you talk about death, you talk about death, then of course it's going to happen. And right, Duquan, like that's the labels push. The labels is pushing death to
Yeah.
these kids, you know.
You know, they give them a handful of money, more than they can spend, and you know these guys don't have any money management, and it's going right into the wrong hands, doing the wrong things.
Mhm.
You know, you could take a guy like Pop Smoke. You know what I mean? Like this guy had it made, but you know, due to social media and not following the proper guidelines when you go to LA
Mhm.
and showing his location, you know what I mean? Like everybody's clout chasing, and there's a lot of wolves out there waiting for you to drop your location.
Right.
What was the Extension guy? I
Yeah,
think
the
he
one
had
that got
just,
killed in Florida, right? The young boy.
yeah, just went to the shop. I think had a bag full of cash, left the dealership, and somebody pulled up right beside him, and
Dumped on him. Yeah.
yeah,
Just real quick. Once again, you tuned into the Real 360 show, along with Joshua Allah and myself and our guest right now, Sincere. You know what I mean? So we just want to listen. If you got a lot of comments, I've seen a lot of comments come up on here, but call in, speak your clout. You know what I mean? Call us in 336-807-9299. Let's call in and see what you got to say on here. We address it. You know what I mean? It's all about keeping it real. Peace.
Please. Yeah, like with Extension, you know, that was tragic. But then you have the situation with we didn't rat. Like I don't know, you know what I mean? We didn't snitch on each other and things like that. And everybody talk about 6ix9ine and how he's able to walk around, and then you see all these deaths. And we think, and me personally, I'm looking like it was a setup, you know what I mean, to kill or to destroy the young black man or to destroy the young black boys, you know what I'm saying, just like the book stated, because you're putting them out there in a situation, and this individual, not to wish death on anyone, you know what I'm saying, went against the code. You know, that's how you know he wasn't from the streets, because he went
right,
against the code.
right.
And these young boys are trying to live out the code, and they're dying, going. You know what I mean? So it's like we have to do much better when it comes down to what you call the OG work. You know what I'm saying? The OG work. So when it comes down to this music, what's up, Kay?
Point guard, we got Magnetic Black Allah on the line right now. Peace, God.
Please.
Hey,
Dude,
I was waiting for King Son to come on, but for whatever reason he wasn't able to come on. But that's a producer.
His manager.
Okay. I mean, gave a little bit of information about that, but I just wanted to add on. It's a few things. The music that they actually playing right now is very different. It's very different. I remember a long time ago, it was with Furious 5, but I'm talking about Melly Mel.
Mm-hmm.
It was a song with White Lies. I was like, yo, what's that about? And then as time goes on, I see exactly what's going on then, and it's still happening now. It might not be with the cocaine, but it's about those pills, whatever type of pills they actually using,
Mm-hmm.
and they pushing those things out there. And the area that we in, this music is like watered down. Where you actually hear whatever music they're talking about, they sound the same as everybody else. There's no substance. There's definitely no substance. I'm pretty sure y'all actually already remember what Wise Intelligent was talking about years ago. He was in some platform, and he was talking about the music that's actually going with the media. They mentioned about, I can't remember who it was, but they was talking about somebody, I think it was he used to be with 50 Cent, but I think he was out on the West Coast or something. I forgot his name.
The Game. No, not the Game. It was another dude. And he was somewhat conscious, but they wanted this song, and it was talking about shooting people, killing people, selling drugs, whatever type of weed they was doing. But he actually mentioned another song that was real substance, but they didn't want to put that out there. They got to put that on the label. I mean, not on the label. They got to put it back in the archives, something like that. They didn't want people to know anything about that. Now, just think about when the song, Self-Destruction. You're headed for self-destruction. This is what's going on right now. And a lot of people, you don't know what I'm going through. I'm a grown man. And even though that's the case, why are you doing the things that you're doing? You don't have to do those things. God, you mentioned about a lot of people, they never been in no projects. They want to be in the suburbs, and they want other people to think that who they are, which they not. But that's who they not. And they're pretending. It happens all the time. What's their dude's name? It was from Philly. The Roots. They actually put a song out years ago. People,
what
like,
they do.
Type of houses and stuff like this, all this type of money, but that's not who they actually are. It was just a video pretended. A lot of people was trying to catch up with those things, but some people never was. But that's how it is. But that's a sad situation, man. That's a real sad situation.
All right. Well, peace, God. We appreciate your calling and your comment right there. Right. And we will holler at you. Make sure you keep tuning in to the Real to Real.
Yeah, I'm still, even though I'm on the phone, I'm looking at it at the same time.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you.
All right. Good.
Peace.
Yeah, he was mentioning self-destruction, man. Those type of songs no longer exist. You know, the radio won't push positive messages. The radio is going to push the latest drugs, violence. So for us to get a self-destruction in 2022, it's going to have to involve the artists that these kids are really looking up to. You know, it would have to be a Drake on that track. It'd have to be a Future on that track. It'd have to be a Rick Ross on that track. It'd have to be Boosie on that track. And they're going to have to tell these kids, this ain't the way. But I don't think that'll happen in 2022.
I would love to see KRS-One reboot a self-destruction album right now in this time and era, because the teacher is still relevant.
Absolutely.
Very relevant.
But he doesn't get that push that these other artists get.
Because it's about a money thing. And he ain't he's about the truth. He's about real hip hop, you know. And I take nothing from those who want to break into the industry, wherever you from. If you from the rich areas or whatever, from the lowest of low, it's all good. You know what I'm saying? But be true to who you are. Don't be true to who you're not. You know what I'm saying? Be more of what you are than what you're not, because it doesn't add up. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of these new cats just gotta take that in consideration, because see, they're being what the industry wants them to be. The industry is going to make them out as their puppeteer to give them this, and then that's where they get caught up, because when you come to the reality world of live, and someone approaches you from all that you talked about on your album, and you can't back up what you got, then you got issues. You know, or you exposed as the phony that you are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's about what to do. It's either the money or the true integrity. You know what I'm saying? And most of the time, they choosing the money and losing their integrity or selling their soul, so to speak. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
You know,
That's like you know what I'm saying, with the gods. If you don't know your lessons and you advocate, you know your lessons. You know what I'm saying? When you get caught, you know what I'm saying, in a cipher, things happen. You know what I'm saying? Because we take certain things to be what it is. And a lot of times people advocate a society or a social or organization that they really have no understanding of. You know what I mean? They just what I like to call them brandy niggas because they always want to be down with something. And it's the reality that when you start building, you start growing, you start making music, and you're looking at it from a perspective of saying, okay, I can rap about this because I used to live that way. My current situation is totally different. So when I start rapping about my current situation, then it's gonna sound different. Like we look at Positive K. Pos K got a new single out. You know what I'm saying? His new single sound totally different from his music before. And it throws people in the beginning when you first hear it. It's still a banger once you listen to it after a while, but it's not what you're expecting, you know, because you can hear the growth in his music.
Right.
Um, Stetson Sonic, when you talk about Daddy O, you know what I'm saying? Daddy O has always been a lyricist, you know what I'm saying? A lyrical beast.
Right.
And when they come down to grabbing the mic, and even with their new single, because they have a new single out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They have a new single out. And you don't hear the same, you know what I'm saying, that you did in 88 with Ghost Stetsa, Sally, and all these different things. You know what I'm saying? With them, it just shows the growth. Grown men that they still lyrical, but you know what I'm saying, it's a change. Now,
Right.
to that, how have like you see that lyricism isn't a stronghold in the hip hop game today?
Right. I think, it's all about ghostwriters and, people behind the scenes. People are just looking for a quick hit. But back in the day, back in our time, like if you didn't write something, that was a no-no. That was an absolute no-no. But it has switched. Everything has switched. It's okay to not write your rhymes. We don't care. It's a hit. You know what I mean? And a lot of these cats just don't live by or even acknowledge the rules that were set before them. They don't care. And to be honest, the money doesn't dictate a dope lyricist. You know what I mean? Like you could be the dopest lyricist in the world and come up short, but you can have Joe Blow write your lyrics, and these are what these new artists are looking at. But somebody like me, like I got to know if you wrote that, like and that lets me know the standard I'd hold that particular MC at. You know what I mean? So the game
Now,
has definitely changed. Yep.
now with that, who is the king of hip hop now? You know, because back in the days, we used to always, you know what I'm saying, crown a brother of being the king of hip hop or king of rap or the queen of rap and things of that nature. You don't have that title, you know what I'm saying, anymore. You know what I'm saying? You don't have that level of competition where individuals want to outdo another individual when it comes down
you
to that
you
mic.
one guy that keeps popping up and I will never understand, and even like the MCs we look up to hold this guy as the best rapper in the world, and that's Eminem. I don't get how he is always in that conversation.
Well, to me, this is my personal understanding to it. When you have a Caucasian rapper, they always push that Caucasian rapper. If you look at over the years, in the beginning, you had the Beastie Boys, who were quote unquote one a great rap duo, which they, you know what I'm saying, it is what it is. And then you have the Vanilla Ice when he came out, right? He was challenging MC Hammer because he imitated a lot of his style. Then you had your Bubba Sparks, you know what I'm saying? You had your Bubba Sparks. Then you know what I'm saying, you got the what's the dude that stole Ghostface style, the white boy?
Action Bronson.
Action Bronson, right? They got Action Bronson, but they always pushed him to the forefront in an all-black culture. You know what I'm saying?
But
And
it's even the MCs that we love will hold Eminem to that high regard. Like, I don't get it. Like, say I think even Rakim named Eminem his favorite MC. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't understand what their criteria. Can he rap? Absolutely. But the subject matter, I couldn't quote you a bar. I couldn't.
The thing is, like, I think they are being politically correct, because I doubt seriously that they have Eminem or any one of these other Caucasian rappers on their downloads where they're playing them in heavy rotation or in their cars and things of that nature. I don't know anybody who rides around bumping Eminem. He has to be a feature on something to even be in that category for us to be bumped in somebody's car. Like when he was on the song with Jay, he's on the song with 50. But to just listen to him by himself, nah, we're not doing that. I'm not.
Right.
I know I'm not. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
I've known anybody that ever bumped Eminem. And a lot of times he get the praises because he has a different backing to support and buy his records. When you get to a certain level, we understand that black people aren't buying records to that degree. You know what I mean? Not to be funny, we're always trying to figure out a way where we can pirate this song. You know what I'm saying? Bootleg this song. So we know that we're not the ones pushing Eminem to become 4 or 5 time platinum or 10 times platinum. We're not the ones at his shows. You know what I'm saying? So when you look out in the audience, you see who support him. Those are the ones who believe that he is top-notch rap MC. You know what I'm saying? Which he isn't. You know what I mean? He isn't.
In every aspect, they always throw an Elvis every 20 years.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But in the hip hop game, it's been every 10. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They throw us a white boy every 10 years in the hip hop game.
MGK.
Yeah.
Is he even relevant? I don't even. All I heard was
he pulled the old Kid Rock move. You remember Kid Rock was a rapper on Jive Records. It didn't work out for him, so he went to rock path.
He went back to the rock and country.
Right, but he got his foot in the industry. You know what I mean?
That's the same thing the Beastie Boys did.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They were in punk rock
blueprint. That was their blueprint. They started out rapping.
Let's not forget third base.
Search.
I'm just mentioning the Elvises.
Well, yeah. They're definitely the Elvises, and also too, but they never left the genre. They right now Search and them is still part of the culture for whatever reason.
Right.
They're still part of the culture.
Right.
But you get these individuals who can't survive in the culture, and they go right back to their homeboys. So you have to be mindful when you give them the N-word pass.
What was that? House of Pain, Everlast.
Yeah.
He became a rock star.
He became a rock star.
The Yellow Wolf, I think, might have dibbled and dabbled. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they get in, they realize it's not for them. You know what I mean? They're not getting that love. And
what's the actor? Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. And all of
dipped in for a minute, and that was it.
And there was what's my man? He ran with Shan.
Oh, Snow.
That's
what I'm saying. You got to be careful. These individuals are giving them the N-word pass, right? When they give them the N-word pass, it's just like anything else. With majority of Caucasian that grow up around you, in a black neighborhood or whatever the case may be, they become this great wigger, right? When they get around their own kind, you know what I'm saying, they go back to their natural order of things. You know what I'm saying? They go right back to being, you know what I'm saying, redneck Robbie. You know what I'm saying? But when they come around the fellas, then they the homeboys. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like Malibu's Most Wanted. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to the hip hop scene, you know what I'm saying? When it comes down to Caucasian rappers, but they look at Eminem as a great rapper because of sales. It's not because of lyrics.
Right. And I think want to leave open the opportunity to do a collaboration.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that would be a good look for Rakim to have an Eminem feature, even though we may not like it, but I know what they think. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think they do put him as high regard, not because they think he's the dopest lyricist, but let me leave that door open just in case that he makes an 8 Mile 2 and I can get into the movie or, you know what I mean? So.
But you know, how do you feel that he sunned a couple of cats on their own records?
I don't see it. I don't think he sunned Jay on Renegade. And I can't even really remember too many. I think Renegade is that one that comes in the conversation a lot, but I don't think
is the one he did with Game. The one he did with Game.
Okay. I don't even really remember. Like I said, I can't even quote you any Eminem lyrics. So I can't sit there and be like, oh, remember that time he said, you know, there's no wow factors. He has a shock factor, and that was early on in his career. He'll say stuff to make you go, wow, he said that. But I don't think anybody in our era could quote you a dope bar from Eminem.
My thing is with MGK, Machine Gun Kelly wanted to battle him. This is how you know that they're irrelevant, because nobody cared. You know what I'm saying? And Machine Gun Kelly called out Eminem. They went back and forth or whatever. Nobody cared. You know what I'm saying? Where I did get offended was Eminem called himself the rap god. You know what I'm saying? To me, that should have brought out other individuals who were lyrical.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Nobody seems to ever correct him with anything that he does. You know what I mean? He's got the ultimate cosign from Dr. Dre.
Right.
You know, he's got 50 Cent in his corner. Just did a song with Snoop. Like, he's just kind of surrounded by people that, you know, you kind of don't want to get into a conflict with. Not because somebody's going to out-rap you, but I think because of opportunities. Who wouldn't want a Dr. Dre track?
Right.
You know what I mean? Who wouldn't want a Snoop feature? Like, people just kind of tiptoe around the things he says just because they don't want to damage the structure that surrounds Eminem. Eminem has a great cast around him.
Yeah.
If he won't call himself the rap god, so be it. But he ain't no rap god as far as I'm concerned. But if that's what he wanted to call and name his album, hell, shit, go ahead, do what you do. You know, if you an MC, if you're a real MC, it don't matter. You're supposed to be the best in who you are for anybody. Now, in calling yourself the rap god, you're going to have to show and prove, because you're going to have to come up. Now, again, it should have been those who are lyricists and lyrically wicked to go come at him, but they didn't. And why not? Because hip-hop is a competition anyway.
Yeah, that's what we was just saying. Like, they didn't come for him. You know what I'm saying?
Because he's irrelevant in that manner.
Yeah, he's irrelevant. Like, and the thing is, like Sincere saying, nobody wants to miss that feature. You know what I'm saying? Or that beat that, you know what I'm saying, that's coming out of the Aftermath camp. Because truthfully, that's our generation. That's who we want. We want that track from Dre. That's our generation. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I mean? That feature. You want that feature from Snoop. Or you might, you know what I'm saying?
Or you could take it a step further. You could take it a step further with Kendrick Lamar being linked to Dre. Like, you just, it's just such a sensitive, structured.
It's hard for me to read Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is he talented and gifted? Yeah. Yes, he is. But just I don't know.
This new project, I gave it a listen or two, and I'm with you on that 100%.
You know, and I'm gonna be truthful, like, and this is me personally. Like, I've never been like a big Snoop fan. You know what I mean? Never looked at him as a lyricist. I didn't look at him like that. I looked at him as a movement that came, a wave that came, and he was a part of that wave. You know, but as far as you talk about a lyricist, no, I never looked at him as a lyricist.
he's just one of those guys that it was more style.
He came at a time it was right for him.
Right.
Yeah, it was all about style, and he had that style at the right moment.
I think he's a good rapper. Lyricist, I would have to agree with you, John. I wouldn't call him a lyricist, but I would call him a good rapper.
But see, there's a difference. There's a difference between an MC and a rapper.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I'm not talking about rappers. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not talking about rappers. Like, because a rapper has a ghostwriter. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about individuals that you would look at as top 5 dead or alive. You know what I'm saying? I would put, like, truthfully, when you're talking about lyric for lyric, lyricist, even though he's old today, Grandmaster Melly Mel would tear my new ass. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even though he's old, he would.
The age ain't got nothing to do with it.
You're looking at like people like Scarface. I think Scarface is a lyricist. He's a storyteller.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? He's a storyteller.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You don't have that too much in this generation of storytellers, individuals who will take you through, you know what I'm saying, that walk mentally, and you can feel where they're coming from and stuff like that. That's not this generation. Not only is not this generation, but this generation don't even go to the clubs to dance. Like, they don't even go to the parties to dance. Like that's serious. Every party that you see, every club that you see people standing around. You see about 50 girls dancing with each other. The dudes are standing next to each other on their phones, trying to go live. You know what I'm saying? Texting somebody else, talking to their mans. But that's what this generation does. When you was an MC means move the crowd, like Rakim said. So the whole crowd was involved. You know what I'm saying? With the parties and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Let's get it in.
I don't talk about rappers. You know what I'm saying? Rappers is nobodies to me. You know what I mean?
Get it in right here. Okay, Sincere, I'm gonna ask you your top 5 lyricist MCs.
Top 5. I'm gonna go with at number 5, 1990 Ice Cube.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Chuck D. I'm gonna go with Cool G Rap. I'm gonna go with Kane. I'm gonna go with Rakim. How many am I at? Is that 5?
Yeah, that's a good 5 right there. That's a good 5.
That's Mel.
All right. Number 5, I'm gonna go with Daddy-O.
Okay.
Right. Number 4, I'm gonna go with Run. Go with Run.
Okay.
Number 3, I'm gonna go with IU.
Granddaddy?
IU? Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna go with IU.
The U is smooth.
Yeah. Number 4, I'm gonna go with Kasim. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go with Kasim. Number 1, of course, I'm gonna go with Rakim.
Okay.
And you notice, like, I don't have like the same notables as everybody else because I look at certain things differently.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because the individuals that I name have different styles.
Ooh.
Right.
I need to replace somebody, but KRS-One has to be in my top 5.
Right.
Somebody's got to go.
Okay. For me, KRS-One, Rakim, Kane, Melly Mel, and even though it's number 5 to me, he was my greatest influence, but he's my number 1. Kool Moe Dee.
Right.
I go to work like a doctor.
Listen, it was because of him that I decided to pick up a pen and start rhyming and writing.
Hey, because he had a stranglehold on hip hop at a certain point. He had, you know what I mean? Yeah.
I was I ain't trying to tell my age, but I was around those eras.
Right.
Okay? I remember seeing Grandmaster Melly Mel, Flash and the Furious 5 and them in concert along with Sugar Hill and the Treacherous 3.
Now, if you saw the Furious 5 and Sugar Hill, you already done told Jay.
You know what though? Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have to add this in. I'm gonna have to add this in as a bonus. Who we underlooked? Tila Rock.
Tila Rock.
It's yours.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, Tila Rock, you know, since I know you're watching, because you know what I'm saying, you're on the page and everything. We're looking for you to come on to the show. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But
yes, he did. Yes, he did. Kumo D did kill
Kumo
me.
D
I remember that.
was the blueprint for a lot of MCs. There was MCs like I liked MC Shan. You know what I mean? I liked Kumo. I like you know what I'm saying, Tila Rock. I like
We can't forget about LL.
you can't forget about LL, but I like Dana Dane.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I like Dana Dane.
I gotta
And
do.
it's a lot of these artists who didn't get the notoriety that they deserve. You know what I'm saying?
And you know
Because
what? You know
if you
what?
listen
Not
to
to cut you
everybody's
off.
top five, the ones who are on the top five is three of them is on everybody's top five. Karis one, Kane, Rakim.
Rakim, right.
You don't hear anything about Redhead Kingpin, who was
Nah.
nice.
Do the right thing.
You know what I'm saying? Who was
You
nice.
know-
Cool C, who was nice. Who else?
Ultramatic MC.
Cool Keith.
Ultramagnetic MCs.
Yeah.
know.
JVC Force.
Mhm.
Yep, Strong Island.
You don't hear these names in that context, even though they open the doors. You know what I mean? Lyrically.
And I
Like
gotta add on, God. I gotta add on to God sincere. He did say it. I'm gonna tell you right now. Cool G Rap is the most underrated rap.
right.
The lyrical wizardry of this dude is wicked. It's wicked, but he didn't get the push that I felt like he deserved.
You know who he reminds me of? Let's say that Puffy got a hold of Cool G Rap. I think he would be in that Biggie situation. I think Puffy got with Biggie. I think Biggie and Cool G Rap were kind of, it just took that commercial push that he threw on Biggie to take him to the next level. You know what I mean? Putting the Dob hat on him, the samples. If Cool G Rap would have got that type of
Push,
put Cool G Rap in a suit and gave him some of those Hitman beats, and he, like you said, he didn't get that push, but he was definitely there.
You know who I think was the most feared lyrical MC, and it's not because he was an aggressive dude, because he was lyrical in his style, was Hev. Nobody wanted to diss Hev. You know what I'm saying? Hev was nice.
Lovable, man. He was that lovable MC.
But he was nice.
Yes.
Like when it come down to the mic game, his spit was nice.
Yeah.
Nobody, to me, when you're talking about like individuals like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's taking it back to AM, PM all night long. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Right.
You're talking about great
little young one.
And even you're talking about Jalil and Ecstasy of Houdini.
Mm-hmm.
You had to be a lyrical MC back then. There was no gimmicks. You know what I mean? There was no gimmicks. And that's what it was, Yo, it's crazy because we done went over our time, okay?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Well, you know that.
All right. Before we even,
we got to bring you back, Sam.
We can't
bring you back.
Do five. We can't do five on this last part, so we're gonna do three.
Okay.
What you
All right. Top three DJs.
Top three DJs. I'm gonna go with Scratch.
DJ Scratch.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Rock Raider.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go with Jazzy Jeff.
Okay.
That's deep. I'm gonna go with Ron G. I'm gonna go with Jay, of course. Because I was a big Run DMC fan. So I'm gonna go with Jay. I'm gonna go with Ron G. You know what I'm saying? Because Ron G, you know what I'm saying, put his thing on when it came to the blends. So that changed the scope of hip hop. And also too, I'm gonna go with Bobcat.
That's a good name.
LA Posse, right?
Yeah. He actually did a lot of Cut Creator scratches.
I found out because I interviewed Cut Creator, and Cut was kind of like, I didn't do that, or you know what I mean. So like, damn, you just ruined my childhood because you was all in the videos. I thought you was doing all that.
Yeah, Bobcat.
Here's my three: Premier, Pete Rock, okay, and I'll go with Scratch. Those are my top.
Now hold on, with Pete Rock and Primo, are you talking about producers or are you talking about DJs?
Oh no! I watched them DJ.
Oh, Premier's cuts are precise.
Yeah. But you got to remember they wear two hats.
No. I specifically said DJs, and I know that's why I said it. Yeah, definitely they wear hats. They great golden with the hats, but watching them cut, absolutely.
Yeah. Now Pete Rock is nice. He's nice. But like I said, you know, it's definitely those three for me. You know what I mean? Those three for me.
Man, I hate that we ran over this time, man. We definitely got to bring the Gods and see.
Hey, it just meant that we had a good time. Anytime you go out of time, we had a good time.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you guys.
Get you back, God, man. We got to definitely get you back.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. I'm glad you guys reached out. Next time, maybe I can have the God Sincere. I'm sorry, the God Sincere, the King Son with us next time. But anytime you guys want me back, I'm back. Just let me know.
Oh, my last one. How long have you managed, son?
About a year now. About a year. Okay. Yep.
All right.
Well, let the God know, man. We're looking forward to having them.
Indeed.
Absolutely. You guys keep doing your thing. I love platforms like this. I love everything that you guys are doing. So be sure to let me know when that's available, and I can pump you up on my platform and send some traffic your way.
I definitely appreciate it because, you know, we're finishing the week off pretty heavy this week. We had great shows yesterday, and we're finishing off with a great show today. And we want to thank all our followers and our listeners for tuning in. We want to thank the God, you know what I'm saying, for calling in, and all our interactive fans and followers that be chatting in the chat box. Thank you for calling in. Also, too, be mindful of liking and subscribing on that YouTube channel, you know what I'm saying, so we can bring you the best of the best when we're dealing with our interviews. K-Wise.
Peace, my God. Yo, listen, everybody, once again, thank you for tuning in. Oh, yo, did you see it, God? Did you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, ladies and gentlemen, we've had the great God Sincere on here, and we appreciate him. Definitely want to have him back on. And what's this here? Gods, I definitely love it when it whispers on earlier. Oh, he's talking about the whispers. Yeah, that was a great show. That was a great show, God. It was. I truly enjoyed that. You know, it was hard. It was hard trying to interview when, again, we was in fan mode at the same time. You know, right. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for tuning in to the Real2reel360. I am DJ KYs, aka the Black Superhero, Kato, which means knowledge attracts to others. Somebody always asks me, what is Kato? You talking about Bruce Lee? I said, no, even though I kick like Bruce Lee. But we truly thank you again, and you are welcome. You're home. This is your home here. So anytime if you got anything coming up, just holler at the guards, man, and we make knowledge born here. We make it work.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
You got anything else you want to say before we spin out?
No, you know what I mean? Just want to thank Sincere for coming on, you know what I'm saying, and being a great guest, and look forward to having him on in the future, and also keep networking with you in the future a lot more.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys. Be sure to check me out at The Journalist Sincere on Instagram, as well as our podcast, Changing of the Hip Hop Guards, with my partner, Uncle E. And I'll see you guys in the near future. Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. We if you pardon state, if you could hang around after the show for about maybe 3-4 minutes, we get you. And we got some more stuff I'm going to add on to you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. We say peace. Peace to the guards and nurse. Peace to all the human families on the planet Earth. And we are the Real2reel360. And we are out.
Peace.
Peace.